Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Now in today's video I wanted to review the brand new collection by MARTINE Cosmetics. I basically picked up her newly released MOULA eyeshadow palette and also a liquid lipstick from the collection. Now I did not pick up the entire collection, but I also do have a couple of other products by the brand that I wanted to feature in today's video. I don't have everything that is available from the brand, but I do have pretty much everything to continue doing the look, because I did stop halfway through my makeup today because MARTINE Cosmetics at this point in time does not carry any sort of base products like complexion products, to do your base, like no foundation, no primer, no powder, but she does have some blush and a highlighter, and we are going to continue doing my makeup, starting off from that point, because I stopped when I put on my bronzer. But before we are diving into the rest of my makeup application, I just wanted to quickly say, in case you are completely unfamiliar with MARTINE Cosmetics, MARTINE Cosmetics is actually an independent brand from Belgium. And this brand was founded by a YouTuber called Gael Garcia Diaz. Now, I personally don't really watch her content, but I've been really intrigued by her makeup brand. And she has recently also expanded this brand into a skincare brand. Now, I don't have any of the skincare products. To be honest, you guys know I always just kind of prefer using my K-beauty products. And for some reason, the skincare products don't really speak to me that much, but the makeup products definitely do. And I also do have a couple more eyeshadow palettes that I've already featured on my channel. I have not featured all of them just yet, but I've recently featured the Mission Triple X palette in one of my eyeshadow ranking videos, and I also featured a couple of looks with that palette on my YouTube Shorts tab. So if you do want to go and watch a couple more looks with that palette, just head over to my Shorts tab where you can find all of these short videos. My love for this brand was actually triggered last year when they had released their Diner eyeshadow palette, which is a beautiful pastel toned eyeshadow palette. And for some bizarre reason, I have not featured the palette on my channel just yet, but I feel like I should be really doing a couple of looks and also just post them over on my Shorts tab. But in today's video, I really wanted to put the focus on the brand new released eyeshadow palette. And every time MARTINE Cosmetics does release a brand new collection, a new eyeshadow palette in specific, there is a whole sort of theming around it. They really go deep into concept research and all of that, and I'm always really excited for their new releases. So I really do enjoy picking these products up. And also, please do let me know in the comment section down below if you have tried out anything by this brand yourself. I would be really intrigued to know, how was your experience with the products? Are you sharing my opinions? Are you disagreeing with them? Just drop me a comment down below. You guys know I'm always really happy to read them. And also, in case you do enjoy today's video, why not give it a thumbs up? Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell in order to stay notified about my upcoming content. You guys know that is very much appreciated. So one more thing before we are jumping into today's video, I just wanted to have mentioned this. For some bizarre reason, the official website of martinecosmetics.com only exists in French. Now, I do understand that this is a brand from Belgium. However, or maybe I can't find the button. I looked everywhere. I could not find a language translation into English or any other language, which is kind of a shame. So all of the product prices are actually displayed in euros and not in US dollars. Now, I know my main audience is actually from the United States, so I'm going to manually convert the euros into US dollars. But just rest assured that this brand is actually shipping internationally. So I'm not sure why they did not make the effort to translate their website or have a currency kind of converter selection. Also, sometimes on their official website, things might have sold out already and they might still be available over on Beauty Bay. So just rest assured that you might be able to find it over there. Without no further ado, I would say let's actually start and let's continue doing my makeup application, because I basically stopped when I applied my bronzer, because the very first product, in terms of order, how I would apply my makeup would be that we would continue with the blush palette. So the blush palette is actually not a brand new release. This has been in existence for a hot minute. I just had picked it up recently. So this is the Fais-moi Rougir blush palette and it retails for 40 euros. Here it is. I've got to say, I really do enjoy Martine Cosmetics packaging. It's always really pretty, it's really stunning, and these are the shades. So this shade right here is a little bit more of a warm sort of pink shade. The one in the middle is definitely leaning more red, sort of peachy orangey, and then this one is more of like a muted sort of nude peach. These are matte blushes, they are not glowy or radiant in any way. They definitely have a matte finish, and that's what I like. These are also powders. This is not a cream palette or anything. So you guys know I do prefer powders most of the time. I mean, I don't mind creams, but usually I am somebody who prefers powders. And to be honest with you, I am not sure which one we are going to dig into, because I have kind of like not really an idea just yet, like what I want to do with the new eyeshadow palette. But I kind of feel like we might skip the pink, and maybe I'm gonna just use a little bit more of this muted sort of peachy blush. If I want to like add something, either this or this color, you know, depending on what eyeshadow look we are going to be doing, I might do that later on. But for now, I feel like we're just going to be using this blush color right here. So I've already played around with this palette a couple of times prior to filming today, and I've got to say, these are quite buildable blushes, so they are not over the top pigmented, you know. You can definitely build them up. I mean, I don't really like it if a blush is too pigmented in one go. I feel like it's always better if they are a little bit like, you know, softly pigmented, that you can build them up. These don't necessarily look like super diffused. I feel like I can always like see my skin underneath it still. I feel like with the Jane Iredale blushes, you can't really see your skin anymore. Like, they are just so diffused and they are so beautiful. But it's a nice palette. I really do like the shades in here as well. They're really, really pretty. So let's dip into Jeanne right here, this shade Jeanne. I've got to say, I really do enjoy this shade. It's really, really pretty. And I also like the fact that these blend out like a dream. They are buildable and they look really, really stunning on the skin. Like, I'm really, really happy with how this is looking. This shade is almost like pulling a little bit like corally pink on me. It looks very like muted sort of peachy pink in here. This one is definitely a little bit more popping. And this one on my skin really looks very like peachy, like super warm. It's not necessarily like red, because I do love a good red blush, and it was kind of like also one of the reasons why I picked this up initially was because I thought this would look so red on my skin, but it kind of turns more orangey peachy on me. But let's actually move on to the next step, and that would be the highlighters. Now, she also has a highlighting palette, and I did pick that one up as well. So this is the Éblouis Moi highlighter palette, and that retails for 40 euros as well. So here is the highlighter palette. I did pick this one up with the blush palette in one go, and I've got to say, I love this highlighting formula. Wow, this is so good. So we got Marilyn, which is like a very sort of icy highlighting shade. We've got Elizabeth, which is more of like a champagne sort of highlighting shade. And we've got the shade Audrey, and Audrey is more of like a peachy highlighter. Although this is like described as a peachy highlighter and it looks kind of deep, it just does not like translate like that on my skin. I feel like this one looks so beautiful on my skin, and I did not expect that. I thought this would be a little bit too deep, but it's not. These don't have any like glitter. They have like this beautiful sort of wet looking glow. And thus far, I've only used the shade Elizabeth and Audrey. I have not tried out this icy one. I feel like this one might be like really punchy. but I might be doing that today, you know. I feel like let's go with Audrey because I want to show you how beautiful this looks on my skin. And I'm gonna apply it on the high points of my cheeks a little bit. Maybe I'm also just going to intensify Audrey with Marilyn. Let's just see. I want to use all of these shades, to be honest, because they're all so stunning. So let's start with Audrey first. And can you see how the shade looks on my skin? It is just very, almost like icy. Like, dare I say it, it is very bright for it to look a little bit deeper in the pan. And it's just so beautiful, like the reflectiveness of this shade. So let's just use Elizabeth a little bit on the tip of my nose. It looks very icy for it to be a champagne. So just be mindful of that, you know. That's why I probably never really digged into Marilyn just yet, because I do love a good icy highlighter. And these shades were already so icy that I was like, do I even need this one? Because I feel like Elizabeth on my nose and right here a little bit above my lip looks very icy already. This is very white. It's very, very white. Maybe let's just use it a little bit to top off the shade Audrey. Just a little bit. I don't want to like do something wrong here, but we're just gonna do it for the sake of the experiment. Yeah, it's very white. This might be a really good like inner corner sort of highlighting shade. I'm not sure if I love it that much on my face, to be honest. I mean, we are going back to 2000 and like what, 15? I mean, I don't mind it that much, but it's a lot. Okay, you guys, so my blush is applied, my highlighter is applied, so let's actually move on to the next category and let's move on to the eyes. So let's actually kick it off with their brand new released palette. So this is the MOULA eyeshadow palette and this retails for 55 euros. I mean, you can buy this one separately, but you can also buy the entire collection because she has also dropped 2 brand new liquid lipsticks and 3 new shades in her eyeliner formula. And this entire collection actually does retail for 120 euros on the website. Now, I only picked up the eyeshadow palette and I also picked up one of the liquid lipsticks from the collection. I also have 2 other shades from her permanent collection, but from this collection in specific, I did pick up 1 shade. So this entire collection is really based around the concept of like banking, money, credit cards, and all of that. So first off, let's talk about the outer packaging here because she did something new with this outer packaging. So this comes in a vegan leather sort of box. It's a box. Usually her eyeshadow palettes are actually that thick. The packaging used to be very, very bulky, okay? Like really thick eyeshadow palettes. And this time around, it's just the box. I might just keep the box. Although this is going to take up so much space in my drawer, it's just pretty, okay? And it's really a sturdy box. But when you open this up, this is how it looks like. And I thought in the beginning those were gift cards. They're not. You can't move them out here, okay? So the palette is basically this giant 69 sort of credit card. And yeah, so this is how it looks like from the outside. So you can see it's actually a very thin palette in that sense. So let's have a look inside this credit card and let's see what this color story is like. I'm going to show you guys a close-up and after that I'm also going to show you guys some swatches. So this eyeshadow palette has 18 shades in total. So 8 of them are matte shades and the other ones are some chrome shades, some duochromes and some iridescent toppers as well. This color story really does have some beautiful warm tones. It's very warm in general. Her formula is really beautiful because it's very blendable. Especially her mattes. I would like say if you are a beginner in makeup and you want to experience some really good high quality colorful palettes, maybe try one of these out because they are very easy to blend. They're very buildable and they never have kickback. So when I saw the color story for the very first time, I was taken back a little bit just because we are springtime right now and this palette to me just screams autumn. To me this is like color-wise, it's a very sort of fall palette. I really do think that this would have been a little bit more suitable as a fall release than a spring release. Just remember that she does have this beautiful diner palette with all of the pastels, which is very sort of like spring themed. So maybe she wanted just to do something else. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I still bought it, okay? You know, I don't care if it's fall, if it's winter, if it, whatever it is. I'm just saying from a marketing sort of like point of view, I just felt like the color story would have made more sense to be a fall release. But that's just me. I think the color story is really gorgeous, and I think there is a lot of variety. There are a lot of possibilities. You could basically just do a simple neutral look. You could do like a smoky look with the silver. You don't have to use the greens. You don't have to use the orange. Like, there are so many different possibilities, and I just love that about her brand. She always tries to do like really intriguing and exciting color stories. Before we are starting with the look, I do want to zoom you in just slightly because I feel like you guys might be a little bit far away from me. All right, I zoomed you guys in so at least you can see a little bit better what's going on my eyes. And I'm just gonna go into the shade, what's it called? Amanda. This one right here. I'm just gonna use this just as a base, and then we can see what else we want to do with this palette. But rest assured, I will be doing some more fun looks, most definitely, on my shorts tab. So just have a look out on there, because I will definitely play around with this palette, because every time I look at Martine Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes, I just do want to get creative. So as you can see, this is how much my brush did pick up. And again, there is almost zero kickback with this formula. They're very creamy and just very, very beautiful. I love the mattes in here. So yeah, let's just put it into my crease. Let's build this shade a little bit up. I really do like this shade. It's like a mustardy sort of brown. It's like a brown with a lot of yellow in it. I really like the way that this has just blended out like effortlessly. And I think just to, you know, stay true to the brown a little bit, I'm gonna continue with the shade Rosalie, which is this shade right here. I'm gonna use that just to deepen out the edges a little bit. Alright, so before we are going to continue with this look, I just wanted to pause this a little bit because I do want to apply an eyeliner into my waterline. Now the collection, the MOULA collection, did come with 3 different eyeliners. Again, I did not pick up any of them. So those were a silver one, a copper one, and an orange one. So I did pick up one of her normal eyeliners from her permanent collection. So I've got one of her normal crayon pencils in the shade Maroon, and that one retails for 15 euros. So I have already tried this one out in my waterline. I always just put eyeliner into my waterline. I never put eyeliner on my upper lid because I feel like if I do, my eyelid space is going to be non-existent, and I'm just gonna like make my eyes appear smaller, and I don't really like that style. So I am somebody who always loves to put an eyeliner in their waterline. Now she also has these like liquid felt tip eyeliners, but I'm not gonna put like a liquid eyeliner into my waterline, so I picked up the normal sort of pencil in the shade Maroon. I've already tried this out and I'm impressed because it's gonna stick to my waterline and it's really creamy and beautiful and it's not gonna disappear. So you can see the difference immediately. I really do enjoy these eyeliners. They are top-notch quality. So let's actually continue with my eye look. I think I'm gonna go into this olive sort of tone shade Miranda for my lower lash line. So I'm going to deepen my lower lash line a little bit with the shade Rosalie, just on the outer corners, the one that we just used before to deepen my upper transition shade basically. Alright you guys, so I am going to clean up my outer edges right here with a little bit of concealer. What I want to do right now is I want to go into the shade Agnès Marie right here, this poppin' green shade, and just slightly use this to accentuate my inner corners right here. I just kind of want to make it pop a little bit. So I'm gonna start and use some shimmers right now, and I do wanna start on the outside of my lid and then work myself towards the inside of the lid. And I think I'm gonna go into Augustine right here. And I'm gonna use my finger. I'm just gonna dip in like that. And it's like this almost like olive sort of green shade. It's really pretty. So let's use that. Ooh, I really love this shade. Just look at that. That is really, really stunning. I really do enjoy it. And I think I want to use the shade Constance and kind of like brighten pretty much everything up with that shade. That is such a beautiful shimmer shade. I really, really love this. And in terms of formula, this shade is super creamy. It's really, really stunning. Wow. This really did change my entire eye look now, and I love it. So let's actually continue with another shade, and I do want to just kind of accentuate my inner corner with this. And I definitely want to go into this shade right here. Regina. This one right here. So yeah, the shade Regina. That is sort of like an iridescent sort of duochrome. So let's actually put that into my inner corner right here. Honestly, I thought this shade would pull a lot more white. It would have a white base, but it really does not. So I need another shade. And I think I'm going to go into the shade Nadine just for my inner corner highlight, because I still want to make it pop a little bit. So I'm going to go into the silver just a little bit, okay? Just for the inner corner, just slightly. Because this shade that I just used, the shade Regina, is a little bit deeper than the shade on my lid right now. And I did not anticipate that, okay? So let me just use a little bit of the silver then. So for my next looks, I'm going to try and do something a little bit different. Maybe do something like more golden, more coppery, and then do something a little bit more with the greens, just solely with the greens. I definitely do want to like use this shade as well in combination with this shade right here. This palette is special. I really do love the formula. I really do love the way this is looking. I do love the shimmer formula of this palette so much. I cannot wait to play around more with this and create some more looks with this. So if you guys do want to know my final thoughts on this palette, I would suggest to keep an eye out on my channel for an eyeshadow ranking video, because I will include this into an eyeshadow ranking video. Once I've gathered 10 newly released palettes in total together, I'm going to do a top 10 eyeshadow palette ranking where I'm going to go into depth into how I actually like this, because today was my very first impression with the palette. So let's actually move on to the next product that I've got from Martine Cosmetics, and I actually do have one of their mascaras. So this is the Atomic mascara, and it retails for 17 euros. So here is the mascara. I've got to say, I really do love this packaging. This packaging is really, really cool. And then the brush on this, it's like one of my favorite sort of brushes, one of these pine cone shaped sort of silicone bristle brushes. I really do enjoy these brushes, and that's also why I picked this one up. When you apply this at first, it seems like an amazing mascara, okay? I have nothing to complain about when I apply this. The only thing is though, because I've worn this a couple of times already, and what I realized was that this is a formula that will flake. Like, it's dry. Like, it's going to like flake off if you touch it. And, you know, it did not necessarily give me any raccoon eyes, but I could feel that it was so dry that if I would just like rub my lashes like that, it would kind of like flake off. Just be warned by that. It did not like smudge or anything, but it's not like necessarily a favorite formula if it does that, you know. I really wanted to give this mascara formula a try, and yeah, it's just not my favorite one at the end of the day. So what can I do? I'm still going to apply it because it is quite lengthening and stuff. As I said, I do like it when it goes on. I don't like it when it's worn in. So as you can see, this really did lift up my lashes quite well. It is more of a lengthening formula. Honestly, it is quite a dry formula though. I can feel it that it's not that wet and that it dries down quite quickly. So it definitely does do a lot of like lengthening though, but it also, if you apply too much product, it will kind of like glue your lashes together just slightly. So it's not the most like separating mascara that I've ever tried, and it's also not like necessarily too clumpy, but it's just a little bit too dry for my liking. And you know, it will kind of get flaky when you wear this in. So let's just do the other side as well. All right, I feel like, you know, my eyelashes look quite dramatic. They look quite stunning. They look lengthened and lifted. This also does hold a curl quite well. So maybe the other mascaras, I don't know how the formula is on those ones, but on the Atomic one, this is just my personal experience. So let's actually move on to the next category. Let's move on to the lips. Now, she does have a lip gloss that is constantly sold out. She does have some liquid lip balms. I don't have any of those. And she has some velour lipsticks. Again, they are always sold out, so I did not pick up one of those, although I wanted to, but I don't have any of those. I just have her liquid lipstick formula, and I also have one of the shades that is brand new to this MOULA collection. So this is the liquid matte lipstick, and this retails for 17 euros. So as of right now, I do have 3 different liquid lipsticks. I also have one of her new shades, so we might just be putting that one on. And I'm going to just show you maybe swatches of these 2 other shades that are part of her permanent collection. So with this MOULA collection, there was actually a green liquid lipstick. Now these do exist in some funky shades, so I ended up picking up the brown shade because I love brown, okay? You guys know I love a good brown lipstick. And then from their permanent collection, I do have the shade Pierrette and I have the shade Berthe. This one is like a muted cool toned mauve, and Pierrette is more like a nude brown. So Hortense might be very deep. If it's too deep for me, I'm gonna try and go over with Pierrette a little bit. Just one piece of advice for these lipsticks, because this formula is not brand new to me. These are true liquid lipsticks. So once they dry down, they won't budge. Like, this is not like a Rare Beauty one, like a matte souffle, like whipped sort of texture. Oh no, no. These are like proper liquid lipsticks, like the ones from 2015. The ones that will kind of accentuate all of your lines and all of your wrinkles on your lips. So I did prep my lips a little bit with an amazing sort of lip balm prior to actually filming, and I used the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm. I freaking love this one, especially if you've got dry lips. This is the one that I would definitely recommend. It's an amazing one. It's so cushiony, so good. Alright, so I'm gonna apply this to my lips. Wish me luck, because this is gonna be intense. I honestly feel like this doe foot is sort of like made for people with big lips, like to tuck them like that, but on my lips it's just not working that well. Oh gosh, it's been a minute since I've worn such an intense sort of liquid lipstick. Looking at myself, I feel like this is way too dark. I feel like this is just a little bit too deep for my liking. Like, usually I don't wear lipsticks that are that deep. I might be going over with that shade Pierrette, like I said. If it's too deep for me, I'm gonna try and use this. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. I've never like mixed two of these shades together or like put one on top of the other. That was kind of difficult, to be honest with you. This application, I don't like the doe foot on these, and I feel like now with that much product on my lips, it really feels like it's almost pulling my lips together. This dries down now, and it looks like it has brightened up the deep shade slightly. I mean, if you do enjoy a liquid lipstick formula, just be aware these are very, 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 very matte. Like, to a point where they dry down, and if you have not prepped your lips, they might just dry them out slightly. I'm not the biggest fan. Usually I prefer something like whipped, like the Rare Beauty, sort of like matte souffle lip creams. I do love a good matte lip, but I kind of prefer like a satin lip cream, something that wouldn't be so drying. These are very, very, very drying. But yeah, you guys, this is my final look. Now, I honestly wish I would have put something different on my lips. It's just a little bit too deep for me. But yeah, I cannot wait to actually play around with this eyeshadow palette more. And I also really do enjoy the blush formula, and I really love that highlighter palette. That one is extremely good. The mascara and the liquid lipsticks, maybe not my favorite products by Martine Cosmetics. Anyway, those were all of the products that I've got by this brand. Do let me know in the comment section down below if you've tried anything by Martine Cosmetics and how was your experience with the products. Do you share the same opinion as I do? Do let me know in the comment section down below. And if you found this video helpful, why not give it a thumbs up? And before you're leaving, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also ring the bell in order to stay notified about my upcoming content. And also don't forget to check out my shorts tab and also my ranking video where I will be featuring this eyeshadow palette again. But until next time, please do take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.